Hi, I'm Chris Lee, and this is Virtually Speaking. Joining me today is Dianna Cowern, creator and host of the viral Physics Girl web series, sponsored by PBS Digital Studios. The channel has over 1.6 million subscribers, and her videos at this point have received over 100 million views. Physics Girl's YouTube channel is a super entertaining resource and platform for physics experiments and discussions about all things physics. In 2019, Dianna was named to Forbes' 30 Under 30 list. And before Physics Girl, she graduated from MIT and studied as a post-baccalaureate research fellow at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. And she worked at GE as a software engineer, designing mobile apps. Dianna is a very sought-after science communication personality and YouTube educator, as well as an in-demand speaker who is an expert on STEM, the future of education, and virtual online media. Her fans range from kids to some of the biggest CEOs and leaders on the planet, who all love Dianna because either they or their kids are hooked on her YouTube channel. She's been featured in Forbes, Science Magazine, Popular Science, Washington Post, US News and World Report, NBC, Vogue, and many more. So please join me now with the awesome physics girl, Dianna Cowern. Well, hello, Dianna Cowern. Thank you for joining me today on Virtually Speaking. How the heck are you doing?
Hey, Chris. I'm good. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm smack in the middle of like 5 million projects, but it's good to take a minute, take a breath.
Yeah, you are a hard worker and you are always working on stuff. And I know that during this new era, this new world we live in, that you've been even busier than ever. Is that right?
Surprisingly, yes. Yeah, I was actually supposed to be on tour over the last couple months.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, I was supposed to be going on tour with a rock band and opening for them with a science show over May and June of this year. But for obvious reasons, that got canceled. And then lots of other online projects, online education projects sort of swooped in. So we've been doing that, pivoting towards some new, interesting, different kinds of education projects.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And I didn't say physics girl to begin with, but you must have. I said your name because I don't want to say hi, physics girl. How are you? When you're walking down the street, do you have people sometimes say physics girl? You must.
Sometimes, yeah. For the most part, if I get recognized, it's usually, are you on YouTube, or are you Physics Girl? Or some people will know my full name. Once in, where was this? New Orleans, a drunk guy on the street was like, Science Girl. So close.
Almost. So tell me about what you're most excited about. I mean, obviously you do this incredible show. You're headed towards 2 million subscribers. You have tens and tens of millions of views on your show, which is quite impressive and amazing. So you obviously love doing the experiments and the projects on each episode of your show, and that's awesome. But you've had a lot of great feedback. You've had Forbes call you one of their top 30. What's the title of that? 30 Under 30?
Yeah, 30 Under 30. I snuck in. I was 29 at the time, 29 and a half. So
yeah, I remember that. You were just barely almost, you hadn't quite hit 30, but they were like, oh, we better give this to her now because we can't. We can't next year.
Thank you, Forbes. I was their Forbes 30, barely under 30.
For education because they have subtopics, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. They have mostly teachers in the education space doing ed tech, like innovative educational technology. And then every once in a while, they'll have like an education media person just doing different types of online education projects. So that's what I was included for, was for the Physics Girl YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you are, I mean, in a lot of ways, you are a teacher, even though, you decided to start your own school and your own classes and your own platform, but you've really been something that a place where people's kids can go on YouTube, which is great, which is for education, which is for learning, which is for growing, which is for improving yourself.
And adults.
And adults, of course.
The channel is actually I would say not aimed at kids. I mean, if you look at some of the titles, it's like, why is the universe flat, which talks about cosmology, or there's ones about quantum encryption and things like that. And then there are also like experiments at home you can do with your kids and things like that. So we have a really wide range for different audiences. I know it's called Physics Girl, so it seems like it's maybe made for kids, but we really do a broad spectrum of my interests, which range from childish to adult interests. So
Right.
that's why it ends up like that.
Well, I love the fact that, you know, I know personally that there are some CEOs out there and founders and presidents of large corporations and organizations whose own kids are huge fans of yours. And so then they want to come on your show, or they become fans because their kids are like watching this thing and they love the fact that their kids are watching something educational rather than just watching somebody play a video game.
Yeah, that has happened a number of times.
Yeah.
I actually met one of the founders of Google that way, because his kids watched Physics Girl, which was really cool. I almost got him on. I think we were gonna have him on answering some physics riddles, which I like to do with adults who are science curious. And we had on the founder of 23andMe and the CEO of YouTube answering riddles. So that's a fun way to sort of bring in heads of companies and the corporate world into the science and physics world, is to ask these brain teasers and riddles.
Absolutely. So what are you really excited about now, though? I think you're working on some new projects and some new shows, maybe?
Yeah, what am I excited about? I mean, I'm excited to keep the regular Physics Girl videos going. Like we always think of that as the main focus of what we do. And I say we, it's me and then a small team. I have an editor and a videographer, same person, Levi. And then I have a production assistant, social media manager, which is Hope. And then an operations manager that Laura. We're just like a small little team, mostly working from home right now. And so the four of us really focus on the YouTube channel. But right now we are mainly focused on another project, which will be announced by the time this goes out, because we're going to announce it tomorrow or the next day. And that is a Physics 101 series. So we're going to do it's going to be tied to the AP Physics curriculum, because we figured like the most students in the US who take physics will take AP Physics. Like
that's above my pay grade. That's an area I never even sniffed in high school.
AP Physics?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I think the AP stands for Advanced Placement. We didn't even have AP at my school.
What does AP stand for? It's not for me. I know that.
But the course is aligned with that curriculum, but it really is going to be aimed at whoever wants to take an intro physics course, who wants to know about like what if you take physics, what do you learn in the first few lessons? You learn something about motion, and you learn about energy, and you learn about electricity and magnetism and like orbiting and gravity and things like that. So so it's going to be like 20 lessons. This is going to take us probably through the end of the year, full-time working on the course. So I'm really excited about that. We have a whole new set for it. We've got some clouds, fluffy clouds with LEDs and equations hanging from the ceiling. So I'm really excited about that course. That's really taking up the majority of our time right now.
So are you doing in that discussion in that new show, so you're doing experiments again and some more examples again of science in action, right?
Yeah, we'll have some at the intro. There will often be either an experiment or a brain teaser. I always love those. So brain teaser question to get the lesson started. I've just noticed I have this Band-Aid that's so bright. I went mountain biking last week, and gravity got me. So slowly working on healing that. But
that's a great Band-Aid. My kids would love that because it's big it's bright, and it's
doesn't
not
look
going to come
quite
off.
so bright in person, but on the camera really picks up like I'm wearing like fluorescent orange
I thought you were
tape.
going to do something. I saw it earlier and I was like, oh, she's going to do some kind of a, and there's like lasers are going to come
No,
out or something for an
I wish.
experiment.
Someone should make, I guess it could be me, could make like a Band-Aid where you just close your hand and it lasers shoot out, but that's not what this is.
Or a hologram or something. Who knows?
Yeah. No, this is from a mountain biking accident. So where were we? I got distracted by my own Band-Aid.
We were talking about your new show and that you're going to do experiments on it.
Oh, right. The intro to
it's for YouTube.
lesson. Yeah.
Right.
So at the beginning of these lessons, there's going to be, you know, the experiments like the ping pong cannon that we've made a video about recently, which is a large tube that fires a ping pong ball at over 500 miles an hour, and filming that smashing into, we smashed it into cans and into an iPhone when we made the Physics Girl video. But now for this series, this Physics 101 series, which we haven't really named yet. I better figure that out by the time we announce it. But it's Dianna's Physics by Dianna. I don't know. We're figuring it out. But for that one, we'll probably shoot the ping pong ball at a watermelon or something just explosive. So we'll have those kinds of experiments at the beginning, and then there's going to be a lot more like worked problems, because it really does go into equations in a way that I don't typically do on my YouTube channel.
That's really awesome. So YouTube is doing that with you, and you're kind of going to have two shows that are going to
we're doing that on the YouTube channel. So in the learning course, we probably won't be doing many of the at-home experiments that I've been doing a lot lately. Oh, that's something we've been doing a lot lately on the YouTube channel, is that everybody's in lockdown, like teachers and parents are stuck at home with their kids. So we've been focusing a lot more on these at-home experiments that kids can do at home and try at home, which I have on my table here.
If you have some experiments right there.
Yeah, if you want to do a little experiment here. I've got a couple, but we can start with one.
Well, don't do two at the same time, because that would be really confusing.
I know there's fire for one. I'll start with the one that you can actually do at home, although you have to be careful with this one. So this one's little tea bag. The cheaper the better, actually, for this experiment. And then if you cut off the top like this, so that it becomes an open little tube. Tea bags actually open up to this little tube, and then dump it out. I'm just dumping it into a little plastic container.
Okay.
Then you end up with what's kind of like a little sock. And then we're gonna light that on fire. Oh. So I'm gonna place that here on the table, and then I'll have to move the camera down just a bit so you can see what happens with it. Okay. I'm gonna light it on, this is fine, because this is made of plastic. But I would not, so this one, be careful, don't do this at home without adult supervision, and don't light it on near anything flammable. But here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just light the top of the tea bag, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it is warm. Okay, here we go. Woo!
Whoa!
And then it lifts up. So that's a little tea bag rocket. And then what's left is just some ash that rains down from the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, so as soon as it burns down, it gets really light, and then all that hot air is rising like a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
And it sort of sweeps up the little leftover tea bag ash up into the air. So you can light a bunch of them at once and get this all these bag rockets. So it's a fun little one. And that's a really cool one, like parents and teachers can do to show hot air rising, because you don't expect it. Like it's all burning down and you're wondering what's going to happen. And it lifts up off the ground, which is really fun. That is really cool and so easy to do. Yeah, that's a really easy one. That's really cool. Let me do the next one. I might as well jump in. All right, yeah. Let's see another one. So this one, you would have to purchase either an ultraviolet light or a violet laser. That's what this is. This is a violet colored laser, which are pretty uncommon, but I think I found this one on Amazon. So it's just a laser pointer. Obviously, don't let kids use this. We have to put a lot of these warnings in our videos. Don't
Right.
let kids use this, and also don't point it at your eyes. But I think people at this point know how to use laser pointers.
Yeah.
So Chris, I'm going to shine it through these two glasses of liquid. And what do you think is in them? If there were kids, I'd be having them guess, or even teachers, I'd have them raise their hands. But since it's you here, you're my subject. What do you think is in these?
What do I think is in the water?
It's just in the glasses.
Oh, what kind of liquid?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that it's not water since you asked me what it is, and that would be the obvious one. So I'm gonna say vinegar.
Okay, vinegar. That's a good guess. This one actually smells a little sweet. So if you were here, this one doesn't smell like anything. If you were here, you'd be able to smell it, and you'd smell this one smells a little sweet. Does that change your answer?
Cooking oil. I don't know. No.
Excellent. Okay. I wouldn't expect you to know what this random clear liquid is, but okay. So I'm going to shine my violet laser into the glass over here. So we'll call this glass A. And you can see there's some reflections off of the side of the glass, but you can see, like, you can't really see the line a little bit. You can see the line a little bit through the glass.
Right.
But really not much.
That looks cool.
And then when I shine it through this one, glass B.
Mm-hmm. Hydrogen peroxide. Oh, wow.
So you can see a super bright blue line through that one. And I can even get some really cool little reflections going on.
Wow.
Inside the glass. Oh, my laser might have just died. But I've got another little ultraviolet flashlight that does the same thing. So this is actually on, but shining it in the water, you see almost nothing.
Right.
And then shining it into the other glass of mystery liquid, you see this super bright blue glow.
Gasoline?
Not gasoline.
All right.
It's actually a common ingredient in cocktails.
Vodka.
Tonic water.
Tonic water.
It's tonic water.
It was a type of water. I should have just kept it.
It was a type of water, yeah. I shook it up. I kind of well, it's old and flat, but I also did that on purpose. I shook it up so there's no more bubbles in it. So it's not to know which one's water and which one's not. Yeah, but there's an ingredient in tonic water called quinine. And quinine, if you've ever seen anything glow under a black light, like you go into a club or something like that and your shirt glows. Some things glow under black light. This doesn't glow, but you can see this white paper glows pretty bright under black light. And quinine does the same thing. So if you shine an ultraviolet light or a violet colored laser, it'll glow blue. So you get this really cool fluorescence. And that's a really fun one to do at home if you have a black light, you've got some tonic water.
How does somebody find that out? Like by accident or what is that, like a known thing?
Probably. Yeah, I would suspect something like that came from going to a club and bringing your drink and noticing that certain drinks will glow.
That would be a cool thing to have, is the black light and then the bartender like making these glowing drinks. You know.
Exactly. I think they do that. I'm sure they do.
Sure they do.
But yeah, it's pretty cool with here we go. If I can shine the laser through both of them, you can see the line shows up here really clearly.
So the one on the left is water, which is, you're right. That is water.
Yep. This is water.
And the orange kind of looks cool along with the whole thing.
Oh, so. It's a whole...
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Can you shine the laser on the orange Band-Aid and see what happens?
I think my laser might have died, but I'll shine here's the black light. Oh, that fluoresces.
That's interesting.
If you were here, you would see that is incredibly bright.
Oh, it looks like it's on fire. That's incredible.
It is. It looks like it's glowing here.
See, I knew that the Band-Aid was going to be part of the experiment.
There's actually, if you have a black light, it's really fun to go around the house. That tape actually fluoresces really bright. There's a bunch of other kinds of plastic that fluoresce. That's a really fun thing for kids to go around the house and just check what fluoresces, which means that it glows when you shine a black light on it.
And is that the same type of thing you can bring into a hotel room with you and shine it all over the bedding and see if everything's clean?
Yeah, precisely. A black light. Yep.
That's maybe some stuff we don't want
Yeah,
to
I mean,
see.
you can even look at, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like little fuzz on my fingers that fluoresce. So you can check your hands for fluorescent chemicals.
Hand fuzz.
Hand fuzz.
So,
Exactly.
you are thank you for that. That was really cool. By the way,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
very cool. I'm going to
There's
do all of that with my kids.
Oh, they're the perfect age for that. They
4 years
would
old?
definitely like they're 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't give them the lighter, but they would love, I'm sure, the tea bag rockets.
Yeah.
Thing up off the table. Got to do that
And
one.
that's why the cheap ones work, because you don't want to waste all your money on the good tea.
And also the more expensive ones, I think they have a lighter bag and it just doesn't work quite as.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've tried.
So you went to MIT.
I did. Oh, years ago.
I'm bringing you back a little bit.
Bringing me back to college. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I still get mistaken for a college student, which is incredibly flattering. But yes, I did. I went to MIT. I started there in 2007, graduated 2011, and I studied physics.
I would hope you studied physics there, because all of this is a sham. But,
physics, and although I did do my focus in electrical engineering and computer science.
Wow.
So little known fact, I worked as a programmer for a few years after I graduated because I had that background in coding, which I recommend to any students watching. Take some coding classes. It's going to give you great job prospects.
Right. And you can start really young with the coding too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some really fascinating, again, with the ed tech, there's some really fascinating new programs that teach coding as like little blocks and chunks of logic rather than like, here's text in a box and you don't understand what the syntax means and all these little carrot things that look like a messy mishmash of symbols. Yeah, they've got some really, really cool coding classes for kids. Start them at age 4, Chris.
We'll see what we can do about that, because they might be, I don't know. We'll see. I think they might like that. Fine, I'll let you know.
It's a lot of fun. There's some really, really cool tools.
So, but going back to MIT, so you came out of MIT. And what are most of your friends who went to school with you at MIT? What are they doing now?
Oh, there's no one thing that any of them.
I mean, like, what's some of the things they're doing, like generally speaking?
So, here's some of the coolest projects that my friends have worked on. One of my friends has made all the technology for a Grammy award-winning jazz musician. So he makes these digital instruments for Jacob Collier, who's an incredible jazz musician. Another one of my friends works as a materials researcher trying to make new materials with new like thermal properties for paint coatings for airplanes. She's an amazing PhD chemist and physicist. Another few friends work on robotics and work on like pieces of designing like technology at Apple. Some of them work in investment banking, like they're all over the place. One of my best friends is actually an infectious disease epidemiologist.
Oh.
So they've gone all different directions. And then some of them are taking time off and living in vans and driving around the country.
Well, so it seems like, I know the story, a little bit, of course, but, you decided that you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do was going to be, right? But you loved STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Yeah.
And you said to yourself, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to start putting some content online. Is that basically what you just kind of said to yourself back in the day, just for fun? Is that what happened?
That's basically it. I mean, thinking back to being in high school or being in middle school, every parent or teacher asks like, what do you want to be when you grow up, to a little kid? And I know they mean well. I mean, I ask that to kids myself, but it's such a frustrating question if you have no idea, or if you just don't really have one thing that you're focused on and is your passion for life. And how are you supposed to know that when you're a kid? So I graduated from school and I had this degree in physics, and I was like, well, I don't think I want to be a physics teacher, but I don't think I want to go on and do research. Although I did think that for a while. I did some astrophysics research and I was studying the oldest stars in the universe for a while. So I thought maybe I'd go on and be an astrophysicist, but I didn't want to take the GREs in physics. So I didn't go to grad school. That's the reason why I didn't go to grad school, as I was over it with the exams.
Wow, yeah.
And now this is a total aside, but now they're finding that the GRE scores are not at all related to how well you do, and they're starting to cut them. So they could have had me.
You love that fact.
I do. I do. Especially since
You're like, see, I told you. But it's a good thing that that
No.
happened, because otherwise we wouldn't have Physics Girl in our life.
It's true. It's true. Sure.
You know?
Yeah. The world needed some Physics Girl. I'm sure. So I always had a real fascination for video and film and media as a storytelling medium. And I started making little videos when I was in high school of like, I had videos of like crabs at the beach. I grew up in Hawaii, so it was not as weird there. Little crabs like throwing sand and stuff, and put that to music to tell little silly stories. But I also loved science and science communication, and was really inspired by Neil deGrasse Tyson in high school. I watched this incredible DVD series he made about space when DVDs were still a thing. And so combining my love for video and my love for science communication was what eventually led to making videos. And YouTube was the obvious choice at the time, around 2012, when I uploaded my first videos. And then it slowly progressed and grew. I started to find other educational YouTubers, which is now a thing, educational YouTubers, like people who do this as a living.
Thank God that's a term, because we need educational YouTubers rather than just crap YouTubers.
Vloggers.
Yeah.
Vloggers. And I mean, there's all kinds of really cool and interesting YouTubers that travel and teaching and cooking and crafts and stuff, but there are also there's some crap. I will not doubt it. There is some crap on YouTube. So I started uploading them, and the channel slowly grew until eventually it was big enough to maintain an audience and to start to make a little bit of money. And at that point, PBS and I started to talk, and they eventually signed my channel, and I became part of under their umbrella of PBS Digital Studios Network. So they've been the sponsor of the channel for almost 5 years now.
That's amazing. And what a great channel it is. And you can just go and watch all kinds of incredible content. I know one of my favorites is the interview and episode you had with Rodney Mullen.
That is by far my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Anytime anyone asks, like, I always say it's hard to pick your favorite child, but I have no problem with it. I picked my favorite child, and it's the Rodney Mullen video. I just love that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's so short. I mean, it goes by like that. And I love that in the comments section, people are like, you could have done, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Okay, so we need to have a part 2. At some point, we'll have to talk about that.
We need to have a part 2. What's funny is that was one of the longer videos we had made at the time. and it was me and my editor working part-time. Jabril Ash was my editor at the time, who now has his own channel about software engineering and AI. He's doing amazing stuff. But at the time, I still had him. It was just the two of us working on it, and to make that long of a video with pulling together the high-speed footage, which we worked with some high-speed camera guys to capture.
Amazing.
And the interview section and the animations, which we commissioned from another animator. Just all these pieces take a long time. And we try to stay on a schedule. At the time, we were trying to do a video every 1 to 2 weeks, and now we're down to every 3 weeks, because it's just a lot to keep up with when you're making 10 to 15-minute videos. Yeah.
So in today's world, and I know it was different when you first started. Obviously, you just were doing it to have fun, and you thought it would be cool to put stuff out there that you love. Obviously, you love this.
Yeah, to show people that there are people out there who love science, and it's not just people who are passionate about music and arts. It's also science that people are passionate about. So yeah, that was the goal initially.
And in today's world, which has really gone, in your favor, very much virtually online, as far as where everything is now, I would imagine that for somebody like you who was already really living in that world, that not only a lot of opportunities have opened up for you, but the opportunity for your love of science and of engineering and all of the things that you're all about, there's an opportunity for more people to get involved and more people to find out about it, more people to learn. and also for you to kind of say, see, I told you so. This is a great medium for, you know, teaching or inspiring or learning, right? I mean, so do you feel like
Yeah.
because of COVID that maybe there's some things that have changed in the world that are like totally to everyone's benefit around kind of where you
Yeah, a little silver lining to all this. I mean, for sure it has changed the projects we've worked on and our workflow, which was a little frustrating, maybe more than a little frustrating at the beginning of all this. I used to film at home by myself in my room, and going back to that after a few years of getting to film in a studio with a cameraman is so frustrating. It's like taking a step back, but a lot of really interesting projects have popped up. I'll walk through a couple of them really quickly. We got a series of videos commissioned by TikTok. I guess commissioned is maybe the term, but funded by TikTok. So TikTok has a push for educational online videos right now. So we worked on some science videos for them. And then we worked with a big corporate client. This isn't live yet, so I can't mention who it is, but a big corporate client came in to commission this choose your own adventure science app, which is where, like, for example, if we're doing that, this experiment with the two different liquids, it'd be like, okay, which do you think that it's water, or do you think that it's oil, cooking oil? And then they'd click on which one they think it is, and it would go to the next piece. So we worked on a on a production for that, and they sent this whole mess of equipment to my room to my house. We set up a big backdrop, a big orange backdrop here, and then we had 2 cameras. We had all the like lighting and sound equipment that they walked us through setting up here in the room.
Wow.
And then had a 10-person crew over video directing us. So that was really interesting to see how corporate clients are navigating the online at-home world. And then now we're doing this course, the online course, and regular videos, of course. But yeah, you're just starting to see a lot more teachers go online and make their own online content, but also look for other online videos when they can't do experiments in the classroom. So that's been really cool to get a lot more letters from teachers than normal saying, thank you for your videos. You guys have given us something else to start the lesson with and to spark curiosity in the kids when they can't do the labs and the experiments at home. So that's been really cool to see.
Yeah, and it seems like the future of education is now at warp speed, whereas homeschooling before kind of used to be these different kinds of families and different kinds of people who would even consider doing that. Now it's almost like, do we even need classrooms? How do kids learn today? Kids are looking at this so often, you know, we need to bring it through there for homework and for, you know, even maybe the classroom. It seems like things are changing at a very fast pace, right? As far as like what's being accepted and what's possible.
Yeah.
What do you think the future holds?
This is such an interesting time. I mean, there was already a push for a lot of online learning for flipping the classroom, as they say, to do more of the instruction on video, and then in class do some of the hands-on experiments and work problems and things like that in person. And I think that method works quite well because it's when you are doing experiments and you're doing word problems and you're working through them that you get stuck, and that's where you need the instruction. And you can listen to someone lecture at home in your own time. But I mean, I think it's really exciting that technology is starting to catch up, and it was forced to catch up to the various needs of students by forcing everyone to be at home for a while and forcing teachers to teach from their homes. But I will always maintain that teachers in classrooms are invaluable, and that interaction one-on-one with kids is invaluable. So maybe it's possible that that teaching online is making it easier for more teachers to interface with students if they have to be in a different location than the students, for example. Right. But I think, I mean, it's so, there is there is something really hard about seeing these teachers having to teach from home and change their curriculum when there's already a lot of stresses on them. So I'm hoping that maybe technology will help pick up where the online virtual teaching environment is making it harder for teachers.
Yeah, that's true, and amazing that, you know, this world is changing so fast right now, and we're all just having to deal with it the best we can. And it's amazing to watch how everybody's dealing with it, you know, from advertising campaigns to just the way people are watching concerts and learning at home, and how even Saturday Night Live and other shows are being filmed in people's homes and now starting to maybe, you know, creep back into the studios, and we'll see what happens, but it's a very interesting time.
It has made it really a lot easier. I every once in a while, when I have some time, I'll go visit a classroom here in San Diego and bring some experiments and talk to the kids, which has been hard to find the time to do. But now that it's online, I've just had more opportunity to drop in as a guest to some random classrooms around the country and be able to do some experiments for them and talk to them. So that's a really unique and cool opportunity, is to have guest speakers and have a variety of voices come talk to these students online.
You have more access to people who maybe you wouldn't have had access to or thought of having access to, or adding to your world. And also, guess what? They're probably more available than they used to be as well, because they're probably at home.
Although I am now that we're diving into this Physics 101 course, I'm out of commission for classroom visits for probably 4 months.
Yeah. Well, you are amazing. You always find new and creative ways to do what you do and to bring what you love to the world. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. Thanks for being an inspiration to not only kids, but also teachers. Because I know I've had a lot of teachers say, oh, we love what she's doing. She needs to teach us how to do it. Or, you know, our kids, you know, want to learn more now because they saw her, you know, her show online. And of course, people who want to know more about physics and science, no matter what their age is, you're there for them. And you're so fun, and you're so funny and likable, and just every episode is something that's not a waste of time, and it goes by like that. And really, you're like, oh, it's over. Well, that was really cool. So you're just doing an amazing job. So thank you again for inspiring everyone. And thanks for coming on my show today. I know you've got to get back to filming.
I do. Yeah, we're going to record the next lesson right now. So
awesome.
It's a constant here. Well, but thank you so much for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you. And I will talk to you soon, and stay safe.
Likewise. And, stay safe. Take care of yourselves.
Physicsing. Is that what people say? Keep physicsing.
Happy physicsing.
Happy physicsing.
Happy physicsing.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Dianna. Bye.
Thanks, Chris.